Hey Patricia, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? I can't see you.
Because I'm trying to display the presentation,
Oh, okay.
but
You
I
can't
don't
just
know
screen
how to
share?
start. Yeah. How do you
Hmm?
run this presentation from here?
I think you should just screen share, dude.
No, I did ask. So you should see the presentation.
I can't see anything.
You can't. Okay.
I can't even see. I can only just see like a blue silhouette.
So stay there. That I'm trying to change. Okay. So can you see it now?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Reload.
Let me let me try and reload it. Oh wait, if I can't end this broadcast because I'll lose the hangout.
Okay.
Can you leave and come back in again?
I can leave and come back again. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hey, can you see me? Can you see me?
No, I can't see you.
I can see you.
Okay.
You are eating something.
Can I present the slides for you from my computer?
Oh, you can? I gave you the access.
Let me try. Oh, wait. There's a SlideShare app. Oops. Must have more patience.
What?
Sorry, I'm just I'm just trying to load a SlideShare application. Whoa. Okay. That's not working. Hmm. Okay, something really weird is happening now. Can you hear me?
I can hear and see you.
Oh, my whole page is completely juddering. Lala. Lala. Oh. It's doing something really weird. It's just, I don't know, it's like juddering like crazy. It's not that, it's like this app thing. Like I've gone into apps and Just got it. Choosing documents. Just started to jogger. All right.
You want to share it with yourself?
I'm going to share it with
yourself.
what do
With
you
your-
mean?
With Jack.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. Lucky try. Oh, I've got a feeling this is not going to work. Okay. Yeah. Are you still there, Isabella?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Okay. Don't scare me like that. Well, it's 4 minutes past, no one is joining the hangout, and we can't figure out how to. I'm sorry, there's technical fail. What's going on? What's the technical
What
fail?
listen to me, ladies.
Sorry?
If we create, at the calendar level, if we create an ID, and then we post.
No, because Isabella, we're doing an on-air hangout, so we have to do it from specific email accounts, and I've sent out this URL like to everyone.
Okay.
I'm not coming. I don't understand. Now this isn't working. I can't. Refresh. I can't. Isabella can't present the like her thing isn't working for some reason. Like she can't present the slide.
Why?
No,
You can select from the app the presentation.
No, can I try again? Can I try again?
Try from try if you go into the apps. The problem is I can't see anything. Look, there's nothing there.
Okay, so I shared like the window with the apps, and what I can see is that instead of my picture,
I can't share it because I can't load this page. You can't share it with me. I can't share it with you because I can't load this page.
It's on the dot.
Where?
is it okay?
No.
Okay.
This checkbox.
Mm-hmm.
More. Share. And refresh. Oh, click on this.
Yep. Oh, excuse me. So then what do you do to actually put it into the hangout?
Somebody will join.
I don't know what to do.
Since we try to open the presentation again from the other account. From we're trying to.
What do I do?
Yeah, we'll try to open the presentation.
Right, why can't you present this?
Hi, Dalia. Nice to meet you.
It doesn't.
Dalia, can you see my presentation at all? Um,
Okay, so it's probably just me, so don't worry about me.
Patricia, are you logged in as Janine?
Yeah, I'm doing an on-air hangout from her account.
Okay. So let's ask to the other people that are coming on board if they can see the presentation.
Yeah. Let's give him a couple of minutes and then let's just start because we can always post the recording afterwards.
Of course.
I'm loading the presentation here.
Hey Luisella, hello.
So if I'm looking at the video of the hangout, I can see the presentation.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I can't see what you are projecting. Oh yeah, I can see it now.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to go on mute.
So just tell me when you want me to start and I will start. Okay. So hi everybody. This presentation is going to be focused on Maps APIs, which is a family of API that can be used to create applications that are geographic aware. So we will see in the presentation that these APIs can be used in a very creative way. And that also these products that utilize the Google Maps APIs are quite successful and impressive. So my name is Isabella Pighi, and I work for Google. I am a technical program manager. So I hope you will enjoy it.
No, and so on our side.
So why learning the Maps API maps? It matters because since the advent of the smartphone, we have seen an incredibly growth in the use of Google Maps. So we had in the last year an increment of the 58% or in the mobile world of the usage of Google Maps. Which is the 13% of all mobile phones. This growth is kind of like unprecedented, but is quite understandable why maps services are so popular on mobile. Because mobiles are basically location-aware devices. So every smartphone with GPS might take advantage of the location of the user to present information that is relevant to the user at that very moment. The 28% of the smartphone users use search to get maps and directions. and it's kind of like it's generic across all the platforms. And the 48% of those searches are related to local activities like weather, shops, and directions on maps. Sorry. So this trend is actually global. Worldwide, the internet traffic grew of the 62% in 2010. In the United States and Canada, traffic grew of the 54% year over year, and in Western Europe of the 66%. The rest of the world is catching up, Eastern Europe and South Asia, experiencing a very dramatic growth year over year, and with an average of a growth that is exceeding the 100%. So it means that it's duplicating every year. So with this massive audience, the developers that have access to global data have the chance of creating applications and reach a very large and growing mobile market. So this is a very good opportunity for anybody who is willing to put effort in developing applications to have good success. They need basically a tool that allow them to create application really fast and in a reliable way. Why maps? Well, maps is not a new thing. It has been in use since the Babylonian times. Maps are a very common and universal tool of communication. So people, whatever language or culture they belong to, they understand and appreciate maps. And it has been historically, maps, they have been historically a cornerstone of the world exploration, discovery, and trade. So it's a very well-known media. The internet and the electronic age has created a revolution in mapping. For example, right now it's possible to show in real time weather and locate a specific city just clicking on a button, and then you can drill and zoom in and see the plan of the city, the map of the city, up to basically see all the details about the city itself. And getting to street view, basically, you can see the building themselves. So the maps, Google Maps, is not just used for landscapes, but it started to be used also to explore buildings. So this is an example of the Tretyakov gallery in Moscow. So it's possible to explore that gallery just from from your office. And you can have also a virtual tour of the gallery and discover all the different work of art without having the need to go to Russia and get a Russian visa. So this is another example of how to present information in a very useful way. So on the left-hand side, you can see the representation of the San Francisco airport as it used to be. And it used to be merely a geographical representation. With Google Maps, what we did, we overlaid data about the airport on the map. So right now you can have much more details about the airport itself, about the gates, where are the gates and where are the shops within the airport. So the chances of creating very useful applications, the only limit at this point is the creativity of the developers. Google Maps is an incredible, successful product, and not just because it's useful, but also because it's well done. Indeed, right now, over 1 billion of people downloaded Google Earth, which is the equivalent of the entire India downloading Google Earth from us. So more and more people are using our service, our Maps services, Google Maps and Google Earth. And it means that the user base for applications based upon the Google Maps API is huge. This is another example of self-created data. So this is how Dalat in Vietnam used to look on Google Maps. And this is how it looks on Google Maps after the local community of Dalat basically entered the information in Google Maps. It means that the Google Maps users they are able to add local content to Google Maps without having to contact Google and make that request. So right now, it just depends on the user and on what they want to see on Google Maps. Something happened to my computer. So, okay. Wait a second, there is a delay between the presentation. Just checking that we are, yes. So the chance of enabling developers is very good. Yeah, enabling developers. Like there is a sort of delay between when I scroll the pages. Yeah. Okay. So Google Maps and the API behind the service, they relay basically the leverage upon 3 different factors. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, they are massively popular. So there is a good understanding of what they are, how they work. They are really simple to use because it's HTTP over XML. So 2 of the internet protocols that are most used among the internet community. On the back-end side, the Google Maps APIs, they can take advantages of the Google infrastructure, which is massive and capable of scaling in case the audience of a particular application is growing, and is supported by Google engineers. which are basically the best engineers in the world. So what are the Google APIs? The Google APIs, I am talking plural because there is more than one, is a group of APIs mainly working over HTTP, which is the most common internet protocol. The first one and the most important one is the Maps JavaScript API, which allows to embed interactive Google Maps in web pages using JavaScript. Then there is the Google Earth API, which basically does the same for Google Earth services. The Maps image APIs, which basically allows to embed static maps and street view panorama in your website without requiring JavaScript. The web services, which is an interactive service, which allows you to access to geocoding information, directions, elevations, and place information. So it means that knowing an address is possible to get through the web services, the position on the map, the direction how to get there from a specific point, the elevation upon the sea level, and the information about other commercial activities around the address itself. The Map for Business is another side of the Maps API and is the only service that is not free, and is basically useful when the application is so successful, then it's generating a traffic which exceeds the limit of the Maps API for free. The Places API basically gives to the developer the access to the information about geographical location, place of interest, and other commercial activities. So what are the three main advantages of using the Maps APIs? First of all is platform agnostic. So you write it once and it runs everywhere. It's based upon agnostic languages. So it's based upon HTTPS, JavaScript, and XML, which usually are platform independent. Is speed and scale. Basically, the geo-relevant information that is provided through the APIs has the same speed across the world. So all the customers will receive the same services. And constant innovation. The Google Maps APIs are in constant improvement, and the improvements are basically available on a regular basis without changing the version. And it means that you are getting improvement and bug fixing on a continuous fashion. So the integrating data with the Google Maps API is quite simple and is layered with different basically planes. You have information, geographical information about the location that you can basically overlap with the satellite imagery. You can use them all with Google Maps API. And then you have the street view information. On top of these three layers of representation, it's possible to lay the information about your business. And so you can basically give to the business a location context that is really important for the customers, because they will know where a particular activity is, how to get there, and have a visual representation of the information that the company, the application has been built for, wants to disclose to their customer. So, a few words about geocoding. Geocoding is the process of converting addresses. So this is basically an address in California, which we are quite attached to because it's our headquarters in California, and can be easily translated in latitude and longitude. It's possible to use these coordinates to place markers and position on the map. Many businesses have spreadsheets and file of addresses of customers and suppliers. So with Google Maps, it will be possible to geocode all these addresses and place them on a map. The Google Geocoding API provides a direct way to access to a geocoder via HTTP request. So implementing something like this is extremely simple. It's just an HTTP call, and the result of this call will be basically a couple of numbers, which are basically latitude and longitude. The Google Direction API is another API that is really convenient to use. And it's possible to calculate the direction between two locations using simply an HTTP request. The direction then might be specified as destination points, location of shops, distance between the path between a particular shop and public transport. And it's very easy to use. Again, it's an HTTP call, and it will return a multipath direction using a series of markers on the map that can be placed on the map themselves. The Google Distance API, wait a sec, it hasn't refreshed yet. Okay, so the Google Distance API provides a service for computing travel distance and journey duration between multiple origins and destinations, given a mode of travel. So it means that if you want to inform your customers about how to get to a particular shop from a particular location using the different mode of transport, then it is possible, and it's going to suggest the best path, depending if you get there by car or via public transport or walking. The Google Places API is another very convenient tool which allows you to access to the Google's Worldwide Places database to display business and points of interest of a particular location. This could be quite useful because there are about 50 million of places available in the database, and more than 8 million of business owners have basically claimed their free listing in Google Places. So this could be very convenient to use if you want to basically place, if you want to provide an application that is useful for more than one customer. with the Google Maps API, you can really bring your data to life. In this example, telecom can overlay data from cell tower connections to see where customers spend most of their time and what devices they are using. Viewing this data in a spreadsheet would be pretty hard. If you basically play it in a creative way, like a heat map with different colors, we provide that this kind of representation can provide a straightaway insightful view of the data without spending too much time on numbers. Another example of it. Is DHL. DHL has been using Google Maps API for a while, and basically they improve their customer service quite a bit using just the Google Maps API. They improve their planning processes and informing the dispatchers to pick up on issues like traffic and courier breakdowns early. So dispatchers can locate and assign the courier most suited for taking over the job in case of disruption of service. The DHL customers also benefit from this implementation because they can now track how couriers, they can track online how couriers are doing using the DHL mapping service. The GPS system is basically updated every minute, so both the dispatcher and the customer can always know where the package, the location of a particular package. So the core of the future development for the Maps API is focused around three main areas. Easy access for groups of information workers to share and collaborate around mapping data. The geographic data is consequently useful and accessible to everyone in any location on any mobile device. The task that require complex geographical geocoding and the development around that will be much simpler than they are today. Because as I say, the Google Maps API are just taking advantages of the HTTP protocol and XML protocol, XML language and JSON languages that they are all quite simple to use in development and very well known by the developers community. So if we have a look at this slide, you will see basically how the Google Maps API, they are going to cover like all layers of development. It's based upon the Google platform, so it takes advantages of the firepower of the Google infrastructure, plus how distributed it is present in every country. And also it can include the Google's data, so geographical data and business data, they are all available through the Google Maps API. In order to use this data, you can use the Google's APIs, and I'm not just talking about the Google Maps API, and they all basically can be used together to forge a new application based on our infrastructure, on the Google infrastructure, which is very powerful and very distributed and available in every country. And all these applications, they are going to be available on every device because they are going to be available, they run on laptops, desktops, tablets, and mobile phones. So that is changing the way that we think about information currently. Forward-thinking restaurants, for example, are allowing customers to view not only the location and the review of their business, but also to take a virtual tour inside and experience the restaurant before making their booking. And innovative automakers such as Tesla are integrating the Google Maps experience into their 17 inches driving display, ensuring that their drivers have the most useful driving experience. This is just an example on how the Google Maps API can be used. Not necessarily Google Maps API, they need to be used on computers or mobile phone. Maps can also be used to add value to products in very interesting and unconventional ways. For example, WiT, which we can see in this picture, has integrated a Google Maps based program on their website that lets basically, which displays a real-world running route and pull that map on their running equipment. So it means that as someone is running on the treadmill, this display will mimic the real-world route thanks to the elevation services of the Google Maps API. So the runner in this case is going to have a more real experience instead of simply running on a treadmill. So unfortunately, Google Maps can be used also, fortunately, although not pleasantly, Google Maps can be used in a situation in which, unfortunately, many people are going to be affected. For example, in the last few years, the world has unfortunately been hit by quite a few catastrophes, and Google is doing something about what we can do to help rescue and search efforts every day. The goal of crisis response is to deliver accurate, relevant, and credible information to the public, including relief efforts to make information accessible and available. So Google Maps has been used in the past in many cases to help rescue forces and authorities to help people caught in calamities. So up to now, Google helped to respond to more than 20 disasters since Hurricane Katrina, and really came useful with the earthquake in 2010 in Haiti. So on the 10th of January 2010, 7.0 earthquake hit Haiti and caused a lot of grief and damage. Haiti is a small country with little or no infrastructure. So Google Earth helped in identifying those areas that were impacted the most. So since Hurricane Katrina, we have been working with partners like GeoEye to make updated maps imaginary of a viable crisis situation. This is available on Google Earth and Google Maps and is usable by aid organizations and media and local authorities. So why mapping is so important? Mapping is really important because back in the old days, a typical emergency response site might look like this one that we have on this slide. This isn't the best way to handle it. Fire here are mentioned by the nearest town, and it's better to provide like more precise geolocation information. And sometimes like the nearest town is not a relevant information because it might be a very small place that is not well known for people that are in touch, that want to be in touch with whoever has been involved in a calamity. So it's better to provide better information, and Google Maps API can do that. With Google Maps API, it's quite easy to locate places and show them on the map. And this is basically from about 5 days after some fire that happened in southern Australia. Visualizing the data can help people to find friends and family without having a deep knowledge of knowing how to query data. So the satellite imagery is also quite important and part of the crisis response. In 2009, we relied on NASA MODIS satellites for imagery of Victorian fires in southern Australia. These are only 250-meter resolution, but gives you already like a good idea of where the fires are and what is the entity of the damage. So this is just an introduction of what the Google Maps API can be used for. I haven't gone deep into the technical details because technical details of the Google Maps API are quite simple, and they can be used by almost anybody that has like an introductory knowledge of how programming could be done. There are many examples of how the Google Maps API can be used. I went just through the most impressive one and the most like atypical ones. But the way that the Google Maps API can be used usually is to display the location of a commercial activity and display pictures of a particular activity and information about how to get there from a specific point. Is there any question? Okay. Okay. Which location are we talking about? Cairo, Egypt. Yes. I can definitely find examples about Egypt, if not Cairo. Do you want an example like a real-time example, or do you want to find an application that is based upon Egyptian data? Or do you want to create like an Hello World application, like a very simple one to show to the people participating to the workshop? Both. That's fine. That's fine. If you have like a particular address you want me to use, because it's better if you provide me like with an address, so it would be nice to basically show how to display a particular address and how to get there from the central station. What do you think? Yeah, please do. Please do. And on my side, I'm going to see if there is any hotel or any commercial activity that is using already Google Maps in Cairo. Okay? Do you have my address at all? Well, it's very easy. My address is isabella@google.com. So is my first name at google.com. So you can email me directly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure there is like at least an example in Cairo. I'm pretty confident there is. If not Cairo, we can use like something like close by. So we are going to present like something that is um, um, a real example. I'm pretty sure that like a hotel or a hotel chain will have something like that, because I know for sure that the Hilton use Google Maps. So, and there is like a Hilton hotel in Cairo. But it would be better also to show like a small shop, and then with a small shop we can create basically on the go the example, like use this and embed this into the HTML and display it. Like it's going to take like 5 minutes to do. So we can have like a real one to show and then creating a new one like in 3 slides. What do you think? Oh, I will need your help to find if the information is complete. So let's see. I'm going to basically send you like different examples, and you can have a look. Okay, fine by me. Patricia, are you still on the line? Okay,
Yeah, I'm here,
so
sorry.
well done here.
Yes, that was great. Thank you.
No worries.
And thank you, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thank you
Dalia.
for Dalia too.
So, Dalia, I look forward to seeing you next week. I'll be on the Hangouts for the next couple of days. So, hopefully you'll be able to come to a few more that are happening this week, and I'll post the audio file. I'll take a look at the video as well and see if we can post that too. Great. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Isabella.
Bye, ladies.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.